It's almost just like a shape that they've needed. You don't want it to be too strong, but you need control, then this is your ball. Oh, come on. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Brad and Kyle channel. We have a great video for you today. We have a brand new ball on the market and we are going to test it out. It's called the Storm Ion Pro. Now, we are really excited about this ball, and I don't like saying that about every ball, but honestly, this is my first time throwing it actually. It's still got the white lines, but from what I've heard, especially on our podcast that we previously did last week with Mitch Hoope, he was talking about how he can't even put it down. Like, this ball's so good that he can't even put it down, and we have yet to throw it. So first time throwing it. The point of the ball, when Storm made the ball, is they want a really good benchmark line ball. The numbers in it, the RG is pretty low, meaning it wants to roll pretty early. But what's special about this ball is the differential isn't really that high. It's not super low. It's not as low as an IQ Tour, but it's not as high as a lot of these really higher end balls that are meant to hook a lot. And when you look at the differential in this ball, it's a .035, which means it's very middle of the road. So the amount of flare that this ball, the potential flare that this ball has, is relatively medium compared to higher end stuff. So when they set out to create a benchmark bowling ball, there's a couple that come to mind, a Phase 2 and an IQ Tour. And I think this is meant to basically be in that general vicinity. I don't know exactly where it stands against the Phase 2 and the IQ Tour. We have an IQ Tour and we also have a Summit that's close to a Phase 2. But another special thing is it's asymmetric, okay? It has a mass bias. So there have not been many benchmark bowling balls that have been asymmetric. Most of the ones we talk about are symmetric, like the IQ Tour, the Summit, the Phase 2, these kinds of things. So this is Storm's first attempt at trying to create an asymmetric benchmark ball. And from what I've heard, it's a home run. So we're gonna throw this ball a lot. I'm gonna show you guys every shot. So if I miss, I miss. If I strike, great. But most importantly is we're trying to figure this ball out. So if it does some weird stuff, then we have to figure that out. And then we're gonna try it up against a couple of other bowling balls. So here comes lots of shots. First shot out the gate. We have a leftover house shot out, and still plenty of oil, as you can see. The thing didn't hook a ton, but I kind of saw it read a little early. I haven't touched the surface on it, so this is just straight out of box. First shots, we want to look at the flare rings, and I don't know if you guys can see these flare rings or not, but the flare rings aren't super wide, so it's pretty consistent with what the numbers say. It's the larger diff number you have, the wider the rings are, the more the ball sees the lane, more technical potential hook it can have. So this is not that. You know, just from the flare rings alone, we have a pretty middle of the road ball. Okay. Okay, so some first thoughts. Still, flare rings aren't crazy, telling us that we have a benchmark type benchmark-ish ball. Anytime a ball, either the cover's meant to be clean or the cover's meant to hook really strong or the core's either one of those extremes, a ball pretty much automatically doesn't become a benchmark bowling ball. The ball that, you know, you can go to you can throw it on pretty much any condition, any angle, because really clean balls and really strong balls, they're limited to very specific, you know, times that you throw them. Whereas a benchmark ball, you can kind of play any angle. You can get it to go a little longer, and then you can also get it to pick up a little earlier. So you kind of need this versatility for a ball to really be a benchmark ball. And that's exactly what I'm getting. I mean, I've played left and tried to hook it a little bit. I've played a little straighter up the boards. Now I'm trying to see, what does it do when the ball rolls out a touch too much? What does it do when it hooks a little bit early too much? Is it angular? When it rolls out, does it plaque a 10? Does it go through the pins? I'm paying attention to all this stuff, and it's doing well. I mean, there's times where I've kind of gotten into a roll and it's let loose a little bit, so there's still plenty of hook to the ball. But then also I've played a couple straight, and the ball held line just fine. I've gotten a couple out to the right and played some bigger angles. The one that rolled out the most, the 6 actually hit the 10 and got the 10 out. So far I'm seeing exactly a versatile ball that can play multiple angles, and that looks pretty good through the pins so far. Now you can kind of see this Summit. It's a symmetrical ball, a little stronger overall, and this thing, it's a benchmark-ish ball, but it's also just probably a little too strong and a little too slow. This ball, even though it's symmetric, it's gonna give us, you know, a really round shape. And this Ion Pro is also giving us a round shape, but it's asymmetric. So a lot of asymmetric balls, they like to read in the mid lane really hard. They use all their energy in the mid lane, and then they kind of roll out and go forward. That's why we like them on fresh patterns and stuff. But this one, it does roll out and go forward, but it also can create some angle, whereas this ball is gonna be just a little bit more rolling. Okay, definitely strong in the mid lane. All right, so one of the last shots here, we're just gonna get really far left, play a big loop, see how it looks. Oh, come on! I mean, how good is this ball? No wonder Mitch said he couldn't put it down. Okay, a couple more here. I'm gonna play straight. We're gonna play about 13 to 10 on a burn-up house, by the way. Plenty of controllability, and you can almost just maneuver wherever you want. So now, if this ball is in your bag, and you're gonna keep this at like a benchmark, you have a 6-ball arsenal, and we want this ball in our bag. You know, we need some middle of the road balls that aren't one extreme or another. So we want a phase 2. If you like the Summit over the phase 2, choose a slow symmetric ball to go from, if you need to go from it, to the Ion Pro. So we need something a little stronger, slower, like the Summit, even though it's symmetric. We're gonna take our big ASIM ball, like a gym. We've got our gym, we've got our Summit, and then now we're gonna get into this category of balls where the Ion Pro fits. Got the Ion Pro, the phase 2, the IQ Tour, pearlized version of phase 5. So when you go from these big strong ASIMs to now you need something a little bit weaker, a little bit less diff, you go to the Ion Pro, and then from there, that's when we get into the cleaner stuff. Then we'll get into the lower end, the high roads, the hustles and stuff like that. But in terms of a great ball to gap your arsenal, that isn't just a symmetrical ball like the IQ Tour or the phase 2 that we've had forever. Now we have a ball in that line that's asymmetric. And so that's really awesome. And that's something that can be really special, given that this ball, you can play most parts of the lane, you can get it to roll, you can get it to go a little bit longer. I would have no problem throwing this ball on some shorter patterns, and I would also have no problem throwing this ball on some longer patterns. All right guys, so that is your Ion Pro ball review. Generally, I like to, it's kind of like string pins. I haven't bowled on string pins yet, but I like to hear what people have to say. And so far, every professional I've heard throw this ball, it's almost just like a shape that they've needed. So if you're out there and you buy this ball, you want it in your 6-ball arsenal, your 9-ball arsenal, you want this ball. Because if you need a ball where you don't want it to be too strong, but you need control, then this is your ball. Because a lot of the balls that we have that are meant for control, they're really strong. And this one's just a step down from it. It just allows you to have like this really nice arsenal with this gap in between it, because then you can go from the stronger stuff to the cleaner stuff. And a little sneak peek here, we have a Harsh Reality Pearl, brand new, and I haven't thrown it yet, but in terms of a 6-ball arsenal, if you have your really strong balls like your gyms, and then ideally you would want another strong ball with a pearlized cover. So you have your harsh reality, your gym, your realities stuff, and then a step down from that would be the pearlized version, okay? So let's say in a scenario we go from the gym to the harsh reality pearl, and now that harsh reality pearl, it's like, maybe the cover is just a little bit too clean, or whatever clean ball you go to. You have that in your arsenal, and then if that's just a little bit too clean, you stay in the asymmetric line. Instead of going from a harsh reality pearl that's asymmetric and clean, you go to now a little bit more solid cover with an asymmetric. Instead of just going from that ball to a phase 2 or an IQ Tour that are both symmetric, we now have a gap ball in the middle of the line that is asymmetric, that just allows us to jump from ball to ball much easier. All right guys, so there it is, the brand new Ion Pro. Very, very excited. So if you guys like this video, hit the like and subscribe. We really appreciate that. That would help us out a lot. If there's any other balls out on the market you want to see us do a ball review for, let us know. In the meantime, get to the pro shop and get you one of these. You won't be disappointed. We appreciate you, love you. We'll see you.